Oh,
It is raining here. I can't believe you have sun. Hello, we're live. Hello, hello, hello.
I had to mute. I didn't want to forget to do that. It'll probably come unmuted. I did that last week. No, I have to look. I don't know if Mercury's in retrograde or some weird stuff is going on with technology in me, but last week I had so many weird little things happen with technology. I'm not touching it, right? I'm doing the live with Leanne, and all of a sudden my screen goes to some random like error message screen. Some weird thing popped up, and I went, I didn't touch anything. I swear I didn't touch anything. It happened a few times, so I'm like a little freaked out about technology.
Hello, Kathy. I do not know what size hat I wear. I
Do
don't
you get a big
know.
melon or a small one?
I have a big head.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. My grandpa actually wore a smaller size hat than I wear now. Because I had his fedora for years
Oh,
and it
don't
always
worry.
just kind of sat on top of my hair because it didn't actually fit down. Hello, Lynn. Lynn made it.
Hey, and to answer your question, Kathy, yes, we're getting a lot of snow, just under a foot tomorrow or tonight into tomorrow, and I still don't have the water clean. Still
I'll
don't
be
have
right
the
back.
water clean.
I cannot
So
believe you do not have the water clean. That's
still don't have
ridiculous.
clean water. Still don't have clean water. And you know when you forget about it is when you're brushing your teeth. I have a little water bottle sitting next to the sink, and I swear to God, I forget every time I brush my teeth. Oh, it drives me nuts. So hopefully if we don't get the water situation sorted out by in the next couple of days, it's just so lucky that I happen to live in the same household as the president of our homeowners association. We're going to be going to the paper and making a big stink because it's been a month and it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
So it's
it's
poopy.
ridiculous.
It's poopy. Does that one say?
No, none of the three that fit me well. This one's a little small, but I mean, it fits me, just fits me. But none of them have sizes in them. Any of them. I
Figured.
don't know, Kathy.
Figured. Hey, Cass. Hey, Angela.
Hi, Cass. Hi, Angela. So, how many people do we have? We
Hey,
have 14 people.
Barbie.
Hi, Barbie. You guys, this is our 50th show. We've done 50 shows, and it's our 1 year anniversary. Technically, last Tuesday was 1 year from the first Glass with Class, but you know, we do our sales on Monday, so it's our 1 year anniversary.
1 year anniversary.
It's so exciting.
It is. I am so jazzed. Sorry, to fix my computer. I am so jazzed about this. I knew it was coming up because I knew we started in February, but that's a milestone. That is a
Yeah, it's
milestone.
exciting. And when I was looking at it, ooh, be careful, Lynn. Oof. But when I
Yeah,
was looking at it, I'm like, wait a second. I started Coffee Chat and a small sale at about the same time. So it's my
yeah.
1 year anniversary for that too.
That is awesome.
So cool.
That is, yeah, snow for everybody, snow for everybody. LA decided to, it was freaky. Thursday, I was doing my sale on Whatnot, and Auntie Christie popped in. And I went, oh my God, I am amazed. I'm so happy you're still alive because it's snowing in LA. It's snowing down there in Southern California. I hope you all are okay.
I saw
All the
pictures
movie stars
of
are
the
popsicles.
Instagrammers.
Oh, it was just
Crazy.
crazy, crazy weather. But I've got
Mm-hmm.
buds on my trees outside.
Oh, yeah, we do too.
So spring
Yeah, I
is
was sitting out the
coming.
window this weekend because the cats like to watch the birds out the window when I let them out to run around a little bit. And so I was looking out and I realized the rhododendron has buds on it.
Yep.
And mom and dad had walked the property last week. Like tulips are up. There were like 4 things that are already peeking through the ground.
Yeah.
But if we
It's
get a
coming.
good hard frost, it's going to kill. It's not going to be a good summer, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've
It's
got
coming.
chance of sleet this morning. When I went out and got some wood for the fire, it just felt really cold and it's dreary. It was wet, but it wasn't like sleeting yet, but we have a chance of it.
Oh no.
Gross.
We're getting lots of snow, but then it's gonna like warm up. And I do think spring will be here. I think we're gonna have an early spring. I think by mid to late March, we're gonna find that the temperatures are in the 50s. And I do think it's gonna be, regardless of what that silly groundhog said a couple of weeks ago, we're gonna end up with an earlier spring. So, but everyone, yeah, the weather's really wacky on the East Coast as that thing whole drifts over. And I know people and I hope everybody who's in Texas and
Hi, Erin.
Oklahoma, hey guys, is okay. I hope you all weathered those storms okay, because I know those
Well, and
were
Oklahoma
actually
has
quite nasty.
tornado watches
Yeah,
today.
yeah. So everyone be safe. The weather's just today is this past week has been a wild weather week where literally in one day you can have all four seasons. You can literally have all four seasons in one day. So everyone be careful. And if you have the nice weather, enjoy it. Just enjoy it.
Yeah, we had one of those super nice days, and I ran around all day in it last week. But then it was in, I don't know, it was like 68 or something. And then the next day, it was a high of 32. So,
yeah. Enjoy the nice weather when it comes.
All right, that's enough weather talk. We all have crazy weather. We are talking about Pilgrim glass today, which was a far more, I did not have a lot of knowledge about Pilgrim glass.
No.
And so it was a lot more interesting, just the way the company worked, than I knew. So we had a lot of fun researching it. Do you want to go first? Or do you want me to?
Yeah, well, I have less information than you have, so it's fine. You can go.
Okay, I'll go first. I'm gonna change the layout.
I have pictures, and Claudia and I went down different rabbit holes this week, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah. So I'll give you just some of the basics. And Alfred Nobler founded Pilgrim Glass Corporation in 1944 in Huntington, West Virginia. Now, he had started out as a ceramic engineer. And I think I've mentioned this before, how interesting it is that a lot of these guys that start out in ceramics and pottery move over to glass. I don't know why that is, but it seems to be a natural progression for a lot of these people that we are. Oh, Angela, that's so cool.
It's not easy to find.
He trained as a ceramic engineer. Then he was a salesman for Trenton Potteries. So then he decided he was going to buy his own glass company, and he formed the Pilgrim Glass Corporation in 1949. In 1956, he moved operations to Cerredo. Angela will tell me if I'm saying that wrong. Ceredo in West Virginia. And he did a really interesting thing where he tried something new like every decade that was wildly popular. So he was really good at reading what people wanted and producing something new. So it wasn't stale, it wasn't old. So he moved with the times, and he retired in 2002 and the company closed. So I think this is the first company that we have seen from start to finish was owned and run by the same guy. So he started it in 1949. There are some people say 1946, some people say 1948. Around 1949 appears to be when he started it. All the states always vary. And then in 2002, he was still the president and owner of the company. So I just found that fascinating that this one guy went the whole history of this glass company. And the glass company did not survive without him. He couldn't find a buyer, and when he retired, it just closed. So they were, what did I have on this page? Okay, gotta switch to this page because I printed out some stuff. So in the 50s, when he started out, he did a lot of crackle glass. And actually, sometimes, because they all use those stupid paper stickers that washed off the first time you had to wash the piece of glass, his glass, Pilgrim glass, gets confused with Kanawha. I probably said that wrong again.
I say
Angela
can a
corrects
lot,
me
and
every
that's my
time.
New Englandness. Yeah, I say it wrong too.
I never say it right.
Never say it right.
But the Crackle Glass gets confused with them. And then there was one other company. Well, I'll probably come across it. So they started out doing Crackle Glass in the 50s. Then I think that this is what Nikki will talk about. He brought in some Italian art glass guys who did the glass figurines. So we all have probably seen the derpy looking animals that were hand blown, and those were produced by Pilgrim. I cannot remember if this swan, someone gifted this to me last year. I love it. It's not for sale, but I can't remember if this is a Pilgrim glass. It looks very much like one I found in a catalog from the 70s, a Pilgrim glass catalog. So I don't know. Could be Pilgrim glass. Let's see. So they did the hand-blown Crackle Glass in ruby, tangerine, amethyst, smoke, sapphire, amber, green, and crystal. And they did produce that through the late 60s. So even though they added the animal figurines in the 50s, they still were producing Crackle Glass. And they did pitchers, vases, decanters, cruets, bowls, candy jars, candle holders, ashtrays, and apothecary jars. They also had early pieces available in clear and satin finish, so they didn't always do crackle. Some of the glass animals they did were birds, cats, ducks, horses, fish, whales, swans, donkeys, elephants, owls, deer, turtle, rabbits, snails.
And a worm. A worm.
I saw a snake.
Did you see the worm?
No,
I
I saw
the
a snake online.
Yep, I saw the snake.
Cool.
Yep.
So then in the 60s, they did cranberry glass. And few glass manufacturers in the 60s attempted this color because you had to use real gold to get this color. So I think a lot of times we think of cranberry as the 80s when Fenton was producing a lot of it. Yeah. Pilgrim Glass started this in 1968 using the real gold, and it was a mainstay of their business. And they were, when this article was written, and I don't have a date on that. When this was written, he was still in business, but at that time, they were the largest producer of cranberry glass in the world. Yeah. So in the 60s, they also did cased glass, peach blow reproductions, and end-of-day spackleware. In the 1970s, they added a kitchen focus, producing clear glass canisters, salad sets, and platters. And they've been described as adding something new to the tried and true. So he really was an innovator. In the 1980s, they continued on with the colors in cobalt, cranberry, crystal, and ruby, and added opaque white, which we would know as milk glass, red, gray, and black. So there's black Pilgrim glass out there if you look hard enough. They
that
also
snake was black. That snake I thought was.
I'm sorry, what?
That snake I found was online. That was black in black, and it was standing up like this, which was cool.
Yeah, it was very cool. So Kelsey Murphy, who was an artist, started experimenting with sandblasting glass and perfected this design. She started buying her blanks from Pilgrim Glass. They got along so well that eventually she and her partner moved into the Pilgrim Glass factory. And she was doing, let me see where I've got that. She, they called it cameo glass. She would carve through, and she would carve through up to 8 layers of glass. So they would case the glass in 8 different colors sometimes and carve through each one. So those are pretty spectacular if you find one of those. And then in 1992, they purchased all Phoenix and Consolidated glass molds that had been in possession of Sinclair Glass. These molds were designed by Reuben Healy, who died in 1933. So the molds were used by Consolidated Glass Company to make Lalique reproductions. and then were used again to make reproductions by Pilgrim Glass. But Pilgrim Glass made sure, and this is the only time that I could find, that they etched their glass, and they etched Pilgrim Glass onto these pieces. So these pieces look like Victorian pieces, but if you flip them over and they are etched Pilgrim Glass, it was the Victorian mold made in the 90s. Which is interesting, because if you are looking at these pieces in the antique stores, you want to get a good light out, flip that over, and you want to look, because the difference can be an $800 difference. $1,000 piece for true Victorian versus a $200 piece for Pilgrim Glass. So interesting. And I love that he made sure to mark them. He wasn't trying to pass them off as something they weren't. So he etched them Pilgrim Glass instead of using the paper sticker that he'd always used. So that's really interesting. And some of the vases in this line were in Pilgrim's 1994 catalog, called Dancing Nymphs, Cockatoo, Lovebird, Bittersweet, Blackberry, LaFleur, Bird and Bough, Hummingbird, Pinecone, Jonquil, Dogwood, and Dragonfly. And they were clear glass with a satin finish. Now, they did do a few experimental pieces they didn't etch, but all the other ones are going to be etched. Pilgrim Glass is a mouth-blown art glass from the beginning. So paper labels. It was always paper labels. They're not going to be marked. Blanco was the other company the crackle pieces were often confused for. And usually Pilgrim can be identified by its distinctive colors, shapes, and finished pontil. So that was everything I had. It was such an interesting company that they were held by one person from 1949 clear through 2002. I just thought that was the coolest thing. And that they were able to move with the times and always produce something new. All right. What do you got, Nikki? And hello, everybody that came in.
I was waving in the corner. Hi, everyone. Okay. So in the 50s, shortly after he started the company, they just have it listed as the 50s. There's no specific date. He brings in two brothers from Italy, Mr. Nobler, however you pronounce his name, the Moriarty brothers. Now, one site that I looked on, one article had them listed as the infamous Moriarty brothers. That is all it took for me to fall down the Moriarty rabbit hole. I'm like, why are they infamous? What did they do? So on researching that Moriarty last name, it turns out it has a very, very royal kind of connection to glass, as well as a royal connection to the Genovese crime family. So that being said, maybe that's why they're infamous. I don't think these two brothers were necessarily involved in that, but the Moriarty name is very heavily linked to the Genovese crime family during the same time period, during the 50s and the 60s. So that's a little interesting. You know, I love when I find this stuff out. So the Moriarty brothers, they came over from Italy. They had worked for Murano. Their names were Alessandro and Roberto Moriarty. Now, their other relation, Carlo Moriarty, was one of Murano's biggest producers of glass. He was a glass artisan from Murano, and both of these brothers learned how to make glass in Murano, in Venice. So they had huge repertoire. As a matter of fact, Roberto actually made pieces from glass that were sculpted originally by Chagall and Picasso, which I thought was really kind of amazing. And if you look at some Murano pieces, especially the weird ones, because let me tell you, there's some weird Murano pieces out there. You can see the influence of a Picasso on some of these pieces, so it kind of makes sense. So now, be safe, be safe. Yeah. So yeah, because she's gonna go out in that nasty weather. Then they brought on their brother-in-law, Marlo Sandin, who was another Italian. So these three Italians had a huge influence on Pilgrim Glass, taking it from before they joined, and it was only a short window where they were just making the crackle glass, and they called them, I want to make sure I say this right. They called these little vases that they made, the crackle vases and the little pitchers, window vases. They were no bigger than 5 inches tall. So they were about this big, mainly the size that we think of now. So they took them from that time period into the mid-century where everything was form over function. A lot of stuff was form over function. And because of that, they managed to merge the two together and have some form and function. And in a lot of, and I'll show you pictures, the really good Pilgrim stuff, you'll see that Murano style and influence, and you might actually confuse a Murano piece and a Pilgrim piece. So that's important to know. In 1954, they gave themselves the name, and I love this, America's Finest Crackle Glassware. Now that stuck with them throughout. They named themselves this, and they were the biggest producer of that. In 1955, they added 2 new colors to their glass color menage, or 3 new colors. So Real Ruby, Charcoal Smoke, and Pilgrim Pink, to add on to what they had as their Emerald, Amber, Chartreuse, Blue, and Crystal. But when they added the new colors, they nixed the chartreuse. So chartreuse was only made for a very short period of time. So if you find a piece that's chartreuse, we always know that when you find things that were made for a shorter period of time, the value goes up. Okay. So their main focus was these window vases, and then these guys come and go, we can make all these cool little animals. They're really, really awesome. So what do these cool animals look like? So here is one picture of what these gents did with these birds.
I love them.
They're so funky. They're so funky and wild. So that's one example.
Birds.
They look like banana birds. But like we had said, they did all different shit. It's the worm. I wish I had a picture of the worm. I don't have a picture of the worm. I was just looking to see if it's in here. The worm is hysterical. It's all these little balls all pushed together, and it's in this blue. It's just, look it up, guys, online. When you're done here, go and look it up. They're amazing. So then in 1968, my opinion, was kind of their heyday, Pilgrim's heyday. They introduced their cranberry line, and the cranberry line was amazing. And it was a reproduction of Victorian glass, like we talked about. They used gold salts or gold chloride, and it gave the glass a look of rubies. So their cranberry line was so, so, so popular. Let's see, do I have some cranberry in here? I gotta have some cranberry. These are some of their smaller cranberry pieces. These were done in the 1970s. So right down here on the bottom is a few of their smaller, different pieces that they had done in the cranberry. What most people will find are pitchers and little vases, and they have these little fluted pieces that kind of go all the way around the edge. Almost looks like a lacy collar on the vase. That's one way to tell it's Pilgrim as well. They used the term sculpted beauty of glass, completely handmade without molds. So they did this case line also in 1968, and these pictures are gorgeous. It was all pretty much crystal over top of whether it be blue or topaz, and of course now I can't find the picture. I think I love it when that happens. Give me 2 ticks, I'll find it. Oh, there it is.
You gotta stick Post-it notes in it like I do.
I know, I'm so bad with that. So it was crystal over blue, topaz, avocado, and ruby. And they only had a year run. So another piece that if you see out in the wild, here they are. They're their case pieces in bottles, vases, and bowls. So if you see these guys,
cool.
They're amazing, and they look so modern. They don't look like they would have been made in 1960s at all. So this was from 1968 to 1969. So if you find these pieces, now again, it's like, holy crap, it's not that Pilgrim's thick on the ground, people. Pilgrim is not thick on the ground. Because I would say probably 90,
not on the East Coast.
Almost all of their stuff, if not all of their stuff, is hand blown, mouth blown. It's free form. They also came out with a line called Fire Island. Now, here's the funny thing. We do a lot of glass, right? We talk about how most places started off doing tableware for hotels and restaurants and bars and at-home tableware. These guys didn't do tableware. This was not a thing that they really started. They just jumped headfirst into art glass. So they did do a line. They did do a couple of drinkware lines, but this one is called the Fire Island. And again, not one that's thick on the ground, not one you're going to see. It doesn't have the traditional. Pilgrim has 2 stickers. So it has the P, like the abstract P with the dot, and then it has a glass blower, a person actually blowing glass through one of the tubes. Those are their 2 main stickers. This is a different sticker. This is their Fire Island right there. And you can see it actually says Fire Island and it's blue and it's an oval sticker. Not something you just associate with Pilgrim. These were done in amber satin and they had this like textured feel to them. So it was one of their drink lines that they did. Like I said, didn't do many. In the 70s, they did come out with a line they called Kitchen Chemistry, where they did like rolling pins and canisters and jars and things like that. And then Peach Blow, for those of you guys who don't know what Peach Blow is, it's another form of an amberina where it's yellow at the base and then it goes to red up at the top. And it's a reproduction from a 19th century thing. So Pilgrim was really big on picking things up from the past and bringing them into the future. So I'll show you, you can tell me if you all think this has Murano influence. So you see some of these pieces in here with the forms and the free flowing. And look at these Madonna sculptures right here. Oh, they're so cool. So they had very big, huge, and here's a bigger picture. I know I have perfume bottle fans out there. Look at that one.
Oh, wow.
Done by Pilgrim. It's amazing. And for any of you who don't have this book, this is one of the best mid-century glass books I've ever found. It pretty much has everything and everyone who is, it's a must-have if you love the mid-century glass. And then here's a line of their pitchers that all came in different sizes and shapes in their crackle line. They usually almost always had a clear handle. I've seen most of the ones I've seen in the wild have clear handles. Hello. Okay. So that's pretty much everything I had on them. And if you find a Marlowe, a Marlowe Sandin piece, look on the bottom. He signed most of his pieces. Like we were talking earlier, Pilgrim didn't like etch. He signed a lot of his hand pieces, and a lot of the things are easily confused for Murano glass, especially the figurines. So flip those pieces over that you think are Murano and see if he signed them, because he was quite prolific. So I think that was everything. And Pilgrim's hard to find, guys. It really, really is. If you find it, yay. Becky, we did look up yours. We couldn't find it.
Yeah.
We couldn't find it. Pilgrim was not really making purple glass in the quote unquote like total mid-century range. At least we couldn't see that it said, you know, that it was like a purple or an amethyst necessarily. So
I think it was probably from the 90s.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
To 2002 before. I'm thinking it's one of their later pieces. I mean, it's still vintage.
Oh, yeah.
But I could not find amethyst listed in their older stuff. And all the information I had kind of ended at the end of the 80s.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, with the cameo line, that was kind of where I ended.
You know what I didn't try? I didn't put in Pilgrim Glass 1990 catalog. Because I wonder if because a lot of times these catalog pages, people have posted them. They own the catalogs and they just post the pages online.
Yeah.
And I wonder if I could have found it if I had done that. I didn't do that.
Well, the funny thing is that Fire Island glass drinkware I showed you, it never appeared in a Pilgrim catalog. It only appeared in a catalog called Giftwares. And so they never even publicized in their own catalogs that they were doing this. It was just, and I don't know why. And nobody seems to know why. There was no answer out there for that. So that does happen too. So, and yes, Sunshine, they did hire Italian glass blowers that were with them until almost they closed. Those 3 guys were with them till almost when they closed. So fun little connection to Murano through Pilgrim. Who knew?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Who knew?
We learned so much and had so much fun just looking into this company. It was awesome. So if you guys have just come in while we were talking about Pilgrim Glass, this is our 50th episode of Glass with Class. And it is our 1-year anniversary. And you might not know, this entire show was Nikki's idea. Nikki had this fantastic idea. She knew I love glass. She approached me about doing an afternoon show with her on Mondays. And she was talking about Manic Mondays and giving everybody something to look forward, because Mondays generally suck because you got to go back to work. And so this is all Nikki's idea. Keeping it short so you can spend your lunch hour with us was her idea. So just so you know, we're here because of Nikki. She did it and I love it. And this has been the best year. It gives me something to look forward on Monday.
Yes.
And feeds my need to constantly learn. I love that too. And so even though like Kraken did she did an unboxing video and had items from both of us, and she's like, they're the glass experts. We are not experts. We are absolutely not experts. Every time I learn something new, I realize how much more I have to learn. So we are good at research, but we are not the experts. All right, we are going to get started. Sound good? And I'll go first since I'm up here. Hi, Rebecca. So a year ago, on our very first episode, I sold a Fenton cat shoe, and I have another one. This one is pink. Look at that color. It's the daisy and buttons. It does have Fenton right there on the bottom. No chips, no cracks. It's in beautiful shape. This color is stunning.
Yes, I love pink. I love that color pink.
And I collect these in green and amber. So I have 2 green and 3 amber shoes. So pink doesn't fit in with that because I'm like, oh, it's so pretty.
I have a white and a green one. So yeah, pink don't match.
So Fenton pink shoe. They did this color later. So probably 1990s, I'm guessing. I don't know that for sure. I don't know enough about Fenton, but it's $20, number 17. $20, number 17 on the Fenton shoe. I also sold a piece of Imperial glass in our first show. It was a blue piece, but I did bring a pink piece of Imperial. This is the beaded block, and I've had the bowl before, the round. This one is oval, and this is actually the pickle bowl. I did find it under, because I have a whole Imperial glass book, and I found this one. It was the pickle bowl. They started producing this color in the 1920s. So this could be an antique. I see you. W Designs by Diane. I don't know that I have your info, so just make sure that you email me with your YouTube name, your real name, your shipping address, and your PayPal email, please. And I always invoice by the end of the week. So by Sunday at midnight, everybody that purchases today should be invoiced if I got your info. So Imperial glass. This could have been one of the pieces produced in the 1920s. I don't know how long they produced this one in the pink, but I did find out something interesting, that the molds started to wear. So this texture that they had in here, some of the molds, they just ground it out of and didn't change the name of it.
Huh.
So some of these will be completely smooth, and it is still Imperial glass beaded block. Isn't that interesting?
That is cool. Hey, Bridget.
So little pickle bowl, no cracks, no chips. It does have a straw mark or an annealing mark right there in the center. Oh, you're not gonna be able to see. Oh, there you go.
Oh no, I can see it. Yeah, there.
Right there. It's in really good shape, and it is $10, number 2. Oh, Becky! Oh, that is such a relief. Oh. I've been slightly holding my breath since I sent those boxes out. $10, number 2. And those were my 2.
Okay, so since this week we're kicking into March, I brought one piece of green glass. I don't bring a lot of green glass because if I find it and I like it, I keep it. Because I like my green and my black and my white glass. So I keep it. But this piece I found this weekend. I had Claudia's been hitting the jackpot. I don't know if y'all have seen her hauls, her videos, and her posts on Instagram. She's been having amazing luck. She's finding great pieces, and I look forward to seeing them every time. And this weekend I had some really good luck myself. So this is Indiana glass. It is the avocado green, and it is, I think, and if I got this right, it's the Harvest, part of their Harvest Colony line. So it was done in the 70s, because this was the line that they actually made into Carnival glass, the repop of the Carnival glass. This is not a carnival glass piece. It doesn't have that iridescence to it from the 70s, but this does come from that same line. So it's a little pedestal dish. And by little, I say it's about, my fingers go about 6-7 inches. So about that tall. So you can say it's about the same size as my head. Really good condition, no issues with it whatsoever. And I know not everyone decorates for St. Patrick's Day. You know, not everyone does the green glass, like this gorgeous stuff that's behind Claudia. I like to mix it up. I like to put in the green, the orange, and the white and have a nice little display of that and just change it up. Because, you know, we get bored. If you have one spot that you can do that in, just throw some green glass. People get the point. So really good condition. It does have that raised relief of the grapes and the leaves. And if you're interested in this piece of green glass here, it's going to be $12, number 78. $12, number 78 for the Indiana piece. Hey, Sherry, it has been a while. How are you? Okay, so next up, I cannot place these babies, but I'm going to call them depression pink color, just so you know what kind of color they are. These are, one of them down, they go on top of a candle, and usually a candlestick holder, they have a piece of rubber or some thing that goes, these don't have them. They do fit nicely
into on Amazon though.
Huh?
I think you can get those on Amazon though. The
Oh,
rubber.
you might be, yeah. But there's no chips on these. So if they had them, they're not there anymore. They still fit into, I've tried them in every candle holder I have. I have a funky candle holder coming up later. So it's a funky candle holder. So you can kind of see they do sit in these. This is a weird one, but they sit.
They would also look gorgeous in milk glass candlestick.
Oh, and that's why I picked them up. I was like, these would go great in milk glass. I think they would be gorgeous and clear glass, or if you have a little bit of something that's pink on the bottom. Last week I was showing the Westmoreland piece that has a little bit of pink on the bottom, and these look fabulous in that, but I only have one. So this is a set of two, both in excellent condition. And to me, they look like little pink flowers. So I was kind of thinking, how better to like decorate for spring and Easter than to have these little like tulip looking pink glass pieces that go in the top of your candlestick holders. I thought they were awesome. Oh, I lost my ruler. Oh, well, they're this big. They're as big as my ear. So they're about 3 or 4 inches. They're very, very small guys. Really good shape. Can't give you a maker. They have gorgeous optics on them. They're going to be $10 for the pair, number 85. $10, number 85 on those two. So really fun little pieces. And that's my two. They are super pretty.
I love those. I wish you had 4 because I have a candelabra and I need, it's got 4.
Oh, that would be so cool.
Oh, Diane has some. Are they pink, Diane? Are they the same as Nikki's? What color are they? Okay, so if you guys have just come in, it is our 1-year anniversary. This is our 50th episode. But also I want to plug myself because tomorrow night I am doing my last sequence of clearance sales. Everything tomorrow night will be starting at $1 unless I've lotted up some items. And at the end of tomorrow night's sale, so if you stay to the end, you don't even have to purchase anything. I'll cover the shipping. I've got this super wonderful smelling, I'm not even allergic to it, coffee candle.
Ooh.
From Coffee and Tea Junkie on Instagram. And I will be giving this away. Because I cannot burn candles in here. The cats singe their tails. So they sent it to me as a freebie along with some coffee and tea samples. I drank both the coffee and tea samples. And I am going to pass along the love to you guys. So tomorrow night my sale starts at 6 p.m. right here on my channel. Everything's going to be clearanced. And then at the end, I'm going to do a giveaway for everybody that's still left in the chat. So how many do you have, Diane?
Those are cool that they're clear.
Okay. Next item. This was, I won a giveaway on Instagram by Danny Girl Vintage. And so if you are not aware of Danny Girl Vintage, I could not find a YouTube channel for her, but she does YouTube live sales with Sabrina of, what is Sabrina's?
Simon Says Let's Make a Deal.
Simon Says Let's Make a Deal. had a brain fart. So she does regular sales with her. She is another glass queen. She loves glass, always has a ton. But I enjoyed this for quite a while, and now I'm ready to pass it on. It is a Viking glimmer lamp. And they did, in fact, call this one Amberina. Because, we talked about sometimes the companies didn't actually call. We call everything Amberina, but the companies didn't name it Amberina. This was Amberina. Their orange was persimmon. This one's Amberina. And it's in beautiful, beautiful condition. So here's the inside. So no chips, no cracks. Just gorgeous.
It is gorgeous. These are amazing. I had a green one, and the light they give off is gorgeous.
Yeah, if it was amber, because I don't have one of these in amber yet, because I have 6. I have 6 amber fairy lamps. They're all different. And that's the only fairy lamps I collect. So I did keep this one, I don't know, like the last 6 months or something. I kept it just because it's beautiful, but it's not something I collect. And so I was ready to let go of it. It's just gorgeous. So Viking Glimmer fairy lamp. And it is going to be $35, number 20. $35, number 20 on the amber fairy lamp. And make sure if you're on Instagram to follow Danny Girl Vintage, because I want a contest and I got that. I am seeing Vicky first. Is that what you're seeing on your?
Yeah, I see Vicky.
Congratulations, all right, Vicky won that. Thank you, Vicky. And then my next thing is something cool. We're boarding on antique, or we are antique. They made this for a series of years, so I can't say for certain. This is Pyrex.
Ooh.
And let me show you. It's so cool. And I had to scrub like cooked on food off of the lid. So it was used.
No.
So here is the Pyrex dish. The inside here does have right here. It does have some chipping right there. But you can date this, well, you can't really see, by the round with the capital and the CG for Corningware and the patented written up here. So 1915 to, did I write it down? 1919 to 1924. So this is 2023. So if it was made in 1919, it's antique. If it was made in 1924, it's 99 years old. But the lid is etched.
Oh, that's pretty.
Isn't that gorgeous? I can't really see it, but the lid is etched, and the lid does say Pyrex too. So there's the casserole dish. And then I thought maybe it was a married set, and this didn't go because this says Farberware down here, except that I don't remember who now. When I posted it, or maybe it was in my haul, they said that yes, Farberware made these for the Pyrex pieces. So it's got this nice little design on each of the handles. It's got the 3 little feet, and you can see where the metal, is corroded or oxidized or whatever it is old metal does. But the outside's still in really good shape. So almost antique or antique Pyrex, which I thought was just super cool. And it is going to be $20, number 3. $20, number 3. And those are my 2.
Sorry, I lost my chat there for a minute. I had to fool with my computer. I got it back. I wanted to show off. I posted on Instagram. I want to say a big thank you to Miss Leanne, Crafty Kitty, and Fish Chick Finds, because this came from Fish Chick Finds. But Leanne bought me this awesome glass pen, and I am using it today and loving it. I have a thing for pens. As an EMT, once upon a time, we used to call it pilfering pens. If we went to a doctor's office and they were cool pens, they always ended up in our pockets. We pilfered, we did not steal. There is a difference. A weird difference, but there's a difference. Okay. So up next, I have a set of Libby Cavalcade Highball Tom Collins glasses. These
They're
are
so
in
good. They're so
fabulous, fabulous condition. So we've got the white horse, the gold horse, the white horse, and then like little leaves of laurel there. And it's on both sides. They are super duper clean and pristine. I was so excited when I found these. They are frosted on the outside and then clear glass on the inside. And the fact that these have never, I don't even think they've walked by a dishwasher. I don't think they ever moved. So these glasses are awesome. They're super skinny. They're super gorgeous. And I'm giving you a heck of a price because I got a fantastic deal on these two babies. So if you're interested, and let me say, they stand, and they're right around 7 inches tall. So gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous pieces. $15 for the set of two, number 91. $15 for the set of two, number 91. They are amazing.
Oh,
And I am
Kathy's
in love
mom
with them.
had those.
Oh, really? That's
I
so
love
cool.
those. Those are amazing.
These are, and I'm not a horse person, but you know, when I see stuff like that, I pick it up. I see Kaz. Kaz, I have to be honest, I thought of you and I hope they were kind of going to go to you because I was like, oh my God, Kaz is going to love these. Thank you very much, Darlene. Okay, so from the Wild West to the seashore, I have no idea where, what, who, when, where made this. I just kind of liked it. It's this sea glass blue. It has a recycled feel to it with all the little bubbles and little like chunks of almost like sand in there, but it's a lighter blue glass. You can just see the little specks in there. And it has these little white-ish lines that come out so it radiates. I think it would hold a tea light, so it does sit like this. But I just kind of loved the like sea glass look. I miss the ocean so much. You have no idea.
Me too.
So these are it's about 5 inches across. I just thought it was a fun little piece. It is thin. It's not very heavy. Tiny little baby guy there. So if you miss the ocean like I do, $6, number 75. $6, number 75 on this one. I used to live literally, it does look a little bit like Fire and Light, and I don't think it is because Fire and Light, isn't it a little bit chunkier, like a little bit meatier?
Yeah, and they always mark theirs. It would be etched on the bottom.
Yeah, and there's nothing on this one, but I have to say,
it definitely looks like recycled glass.
I do think it's a recycled glass piece. That's why I kind of was in love with it. But I used to be able to walk outside my front door and there was the ocean. And I missed that. So this is reminding me of the ocean. So those are my two. Thank you. I know there are a lot more on eBay. That's why I try to give you guys a really good deal on that.
Okay, so my next piece. Does anybody know what it is?
Is that a tumble up?
No.
No,
Look how
all
big
right,
it is.
sorry. A light.
I picked it up and I'm like, what the heck is that? And it's got gold that's coming off and it looks like mid-century, right? I'm like, that's nothing I've ever seen before.
Yeah.
So I did a Google search, which I don't usually do in the middle of Goodwill, but I'm like, that's really unusual. And they weren't very busy. It is and I don't know if anybody was guessing, but it is the bottom of a hookah. This is the base of a hookah.
Oh, I would have never guessed that. I would never have guessed that. That's awesome. That's
so
awesome.
What I thought was it would make a really, really cool vase if you like the mid-century look of this. Not the mid-century with the colors, but if you like this look, I thought, how cool would this look with ostrich feathers? Oh, Kaz watched, so she knows what it is. Ostrich feathers, peacock feathers, just sitting in the corner because it is a big piece. So I thought I'd bring it. I also thought maybe Kraken would like it, but I don't think she's here today.
Yeah, I don't see her.
She likes these big glass pieces I have. So this one, it's just going to be $12.
That's
$12,
cool.
number 16. It's just super fun. And then my next piece, I picked this up because St. Patty's Day is coming up. I already sold 2 of the green pieces out here. So if it doesn't sell, it'll just get displayed here with its siblings because it is NAPCO. And both of these green vases behind me in the corners are NAPCO. So NAPCO is made here in Ohio. These were made specifically for florist companies. It's got a nice wide mouth. So
Yeah.
my niece, her boyfriend, regularly brings her a bouquet of flowers, and they fit nicely in these wider mouths.
Yeah.
So this one, no chips, no cracks, and there's not even hard water staining in it.
It's pretty color. It's just a pretty color.
It was dirty. I had to give it a super good scrub, but yeah, it's really pretty and will look gorgeous in your St. Patrick's Day display. It'll look pretty with summer flowers in it, and then it'd be good for Christmas. So $10. $10, number one. And those are my 2.
And green glass is one of those things that goes from season to season to season. It doesn't matter. And that's another reason why I love green glass. That's why green glass, white glass, and black glass are in my house. I love them. Okay. So up next, now I cannot say this is Pilgrim, but it is exceptionally similar to some of the Pilgrim birds that they had done. So I have a little glass bird. Got a little pinchy eyes here, hand-blown piece. Nothing wrong with this baby. Very, very polished bottom here. Super, super pretty there. And he's just a little guy. He'll blend in nice if you got the bluebirds of happiness or the cardinals or any of them. He'll blend in really nice sitting over there on your shelf. I love him. He's tiny. He's about 4 inches from tip to tip there. And if you're interested in him, it's going to be $10, number 89. Look at how much it's like a big, huge, awesome magnifier. $10, number 89 on the little bird. That's my first piece. This next piece I found, I was telling Claudia before the show, piecemealed in 2 different stores within a stone throw away from each other, and I was very, very excited. So these are, and I have a set of 2. Hazel Atlas, and it's a little set. So you have a little mug and then a little tray to eat off of. This was, now I don't know if this is what it's called, but it makes sense if this is totally what it's called. It's called the Sip, Snack, and Smoke. So this little section here is technically an ashtray. There is a little spot for a cigarette that would go here, but you know what? I thought it was kind of like the little dessert section. This little section here is for the cup. And then this little section is for your snacks. I picked up just the tray at first and went, oh, that'd be kind of a pretty tray to sit on someone's dresser with little bits of jewelry in it. Not realizing they came with cute little mugs. So the mugs are tiny. They probably hold about 4 ounces. They got a real pretty little beaded edge. I love the handle on this. I mean, it's perfect. My finger fits in there perfectly. And they have this neat little squared off bottom, circle on the bottom, and then it's like a square, almost like a diamond cut. Really neat, round on the top, and then the beaded edge continues along the handle, and they are both in a really good shape. So there is a set of 2. So you get ones. I can just imagine sitting down in front of the TV with your vintage TV tray at night, and you got like a little bit of like hummus or dip over here, and you get some veggies and cheese, and you get your little glass of whatever you want to put in your little glass, and enjoying the evening. So 1 set, and then I'll show you the other set. Same condition. Excellent condition. 2 sets. So you get the set of 2 of these little guys. And if you're interested in my Sip, Snack, and Smoke little lunchroom set here, $20 for the set of 4. This is 4 pieces, so $20. Number 74. What's dollars number 74 on this one? I know I kind of in love with them too. Especially when you're at night, you're sitting down, you're trying not to snack too much. You put it in something a little bit smaller and a little bit prettier. All right. Those are my 2. Thank you.
And every meal should be pretty. I think a lot of times with our fast-paced lives, we grab and go. We don't sit down to enjoy our food and appreciate that in this country, we get to eat a lot of food that other countries don't. For the moment. Food prices keep going up. None of us are going to have food. Okay, this is my milk glass round. So if you watched me on Lynn's channel last week, I had picked this up the day of her sale. So it was after Glass with Class last week. So you guys haven't seen it if you weren't watching me on Lynn's. So I've got this piece.
Oh my God.
And then I've got this piece. And I want to show you the differences. And we went back and forth about this one because I haven't come across enough antique milk glass to know if this finish on this is true antique milk glass. But this is almost identical to a piece that Nikki has in one of her books. It's got the same bottom. This scrolled bottom is just stunning. And then it's got the same lid. They called it, I think, a crown lid.
Crown, yeah.
So it's just got a different, this is flowers and bows. So, or garland and bows, but it's slightly different pattern than the one that she had. This was called a dresser bottle.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what on earth you're putting in a bottle this big that needs to go on your dresser, unless this is where you stored your vodka. You just have a little sippy sip while you're getting ready in the morning. It is decanter size.
Yeah.
So it's a shiny milk glass, where this piece of Victorian milk glass is a matte. So it really threw me, but Nikki feels like it is antique.
It's like, yeah, it's like Edwardian. So it'd be like really early 1900s, just before the 20s. So like 1900 to 1918, 15, right in there.
Now, it is missing its cork. So somebody had wrapped something around there. And there is...
Aren't they nice?
There is chipping there. Oh, rose water.
Yeah, they would have put bigger things like, yeah, orange water, lavender water.
Yeah. So,
Florida water.
let me tell you the height on this. So it does look like an alcohol decanter. We're looking at 11 inches, but it was originally called a dresser bottle. There is one flaw right here. It's not, it's like it maybe got shipped and somebody found the piece and then put it back in there with some kind of adhesive. I don't know. But it does, that is its one flaw. So I did mark it down a bit from what these are normally priced at. And then, of course, paint loss, which, you know,
I love the
when
fact
it's
that
an antique,
yeah,
this is just what it's going to look like. It's going to lose its paint. I did get a very careful, quick bath to get the dirt off, but not take any more of the paint off. $25.
Very good price.
$25, number 9, because it has that little repaired chippy chip in it. And then this piece, this piece I've had on my dresser forever. And if you saw my haul, you know, I found a piece to replace it that was clear glass so I can see what's in it. I adore this piece.
Love this. I love this.
It's got these flowers. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. You can see some of the color that used to be on it. There is, now see, this one's marked G84. It's marked in the lid and on the bottom. And then there is some rust staining in there. I gave it a good wash when I first bought it, but I didn't try to get anything out, any of the staining out of that. There's some slight, very slight, but they're smoothed over with age, chips right here. But I mean, look,
that's not uncommon in
Yeah.
Victorian milk glass. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is an antique, probably a powder jar. I love this piece, but I found something that is more practical. So this is, I'm ready to move this piece on. It's going to be $18, number 10. Yeah, it's been on my bedroom, on my dresser in my bedroom. $18, number 10, and those are my 2 pieces.
I'm addicted to Victorian Edwardian milk glass because of the look that it has, and it's the only frou-frou-ness. I'm a very clean line, simple kind of frou-frou's not me, but I'll do Victorian frou-frou any day. Okay, up next, so speaking of dressers, I found, I gotta read it back a little bit. I'm thinking, I think this might be like an 80s piece. That's kind of where I'm leaning because of that like throwback to the Victorian era and just the fact that it's got these on the edge. We've got frosted and gold trimmed roses. And then on the top, like a little rosebud with the little flower leaves coming off. And it's on all sides. So the handles are little roses with little leaves. And it is the perfect dresser tray. So if you have your little, like if you had Claudia's little milk glass piece here and then the little powder jar down here, this would look gorgeous on someone's dresser for perfume bottles. And it is stay back there. It is a bigger piece. So from handle to handle, it's 16 inches in the longest bit, and then the 8 inches the other way. So a very pretty oval. And it's actually slightly, you can see these two pieces here in the end are slightly offset, which is kind of neat. I'm a symmetry girl, but that doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me at all. Super good condition. There's really no scratches. There's very few little minor little bits. I don't even know if that's going to show up on camera. There, right there. Whoop. There's a few tiny ones. It's really hard to see. But if you're interested in the rose dresser tray, this would fit right in with Victorian pieces if you have them. $15, number 87. $15, number 87 on this one. Hey, Edward. Oh, put this back because that's a big baby. All right, this piece confused the crap out of me. So I found that it was like this. It has that, oh my God, Costa Boda.
Yeah, it definitely has that look.
It has that look, but it is, hey, it is not sitting on there anywhere. Sometimes there's stickers or little engravings. I can't find anywhere where it says that. But it fits in nice if you have Costa Boda. It'll fit in nice. This is super hard to photograph. It is not photogenic. It's one of those you really kind of have to see it. So it sits this way. And inside here, you can put, there's a space for a tea light or a pillar candle can go in there. This will hold every single type of candle that is in existence. Then you can flip it over and have it sit on these edges just like this. And in the top, it has 3 spaces for taper candle holders.
It blew my mind. Cool.
I've never seen anything like it. It is like ice. It looks like ice. It looks like a glacier. And until you see it in person, like I said, it's super, because it's clear glass and it has all these little craters, it is super hard to show. So I'm doing my best here. So that's the side with the tapers. And then this side, if I tilt it a little bit, you can see where the tea light goes and where the pillars go. And then this becomes the feet. So it's a very versatile piece. It's just super cool. And as a matter of fact, John tried to steal it. He picked it up and walked out of while I was cleaning everything off. He's like, thank you. And walked in the other room with it. I was like, no, that is not yours right now. That is mine. So I did hit the Costa Boda like jackpot. I've got 2 pieces. I'll bring them out later on in the month. But I wanted to show this really unique, different piece because we said if we were bringing clear glass, it had to be different. So here we go. If you're interested, $15, number 93. $15, number 93 for the weirdest, coolest hunk of glass I've just about ever seen. And there was a Matsu.
How heavy is that piece?
It's really not as heavy as I have the other bigger one, and the other one is heavier. The snowball one is heavier than this actually is. And I think it's because it's hollow on both sides.
Yeah, that is super cool.
Yeah.
All right, my last 2 pieces are going to be pink glass. Just because I sold a bunch of pink glass, so I got to buy new pink glass. I love my pink glass. So the first one is going to be one of the Elegant Depression companies. I couldn't figure out which one specifically. It is that really pretty true pink instead of being, well, let me hold them all 3 up together because here's the one I had at the very beginning. So look at the color difference there. And then here is the one that I'll have here in a minute. So that is a big difference in the pinks. This is definitely more on the peachy side. This one's right in between those 2. So I'm thinking if it's Heisey, it's not marked. Heisey is usually marked. Tiffin, maybe. Like, it is gorgeous. It's got the Very cool handles here. It's got this really pretty pattern
I
in
wonder
it.
if that's Fostoria. They did handles, fun handles like that. An elegant line.
Yeah, Tiffin Fostoria.
Tiffin
It's not
Fostoria.
Imperial glass, and
Yeah.
it's not marked Heisey, but it does have some. Now it's got my fingerprints on it, but there you can see the pink. The bottom is super polished. Super polished. You cannot see a mold line in it. So definitely one of the elegant depression wear companies. Just I could not identify it positively.
Oh, New Martinsville. And so they had similar pieces too. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's polished with there's no mold lines whatsoever in it. So I don't know. It's one of the better ones. It's gorgeous.
It is.
And it is $15, number 14. $15, number 14 on that bowl. And then this one, I couldn't identify the maker either, but this one has an etched design. Let's see. Oh, you still can't see it, but it's got an etched design there. And then it's got an etched design on either end. You can see mold lines on this. You can see bubbles in it. So this would probably not have been one of the elegant glassware companies. But it is super pretty, also with little handles. And this one is going to be $12, number 6. $12. So pretty. And those were my last two.
Okay. We had great minds in the last little round because I got a pink piece too. But up first, milk glass. Because I am running low on my milk glass, and finding really cool milk glass out there is getting a little hard. So I think this is an earlier. I'm pretty sure this is Fenton. It's kind of recognizable by the top, the ruffled top on the top there, the way they used to do it. It's a smaller compote, very small, not super deep. I just love the swirlies. The little swirlies that go, and then the swirl changes on the base, and then we have kind of almost a pebbly edge to it. But the ring of fire on this through the little rufflets, and I'm not sure if it's going to show up on the camera, is amazing. It's so, so, so pretty. There, you can kind of see my finger back there, so you can see kind of how translucent it is. Really pretty. And it almost has, I want to say it's not, milk glass is like white. This has a slightly bluish tinge to it. So it is definitely an older piece of glass there. And it's not a super tall guy. He's a smaller guy. This is about 5 inches tall. So pretty little addition piece. This would just look nice just sitting all on its own, having its little party all on its own. I know the swirlies are pretty. I love the swirlies. So if you're interested in this little piece, which I'm leaning Fenton because of the ruffled top, it's going to be $12, number 90. $12, number 90 for the Fenton-ish milk glass swirly compote with a killer ring of fire. I love when glass has a little hint of it. And then I got a piece of depression pink. We're coming up on Easter, so I thought this platter would be awesome to bring out. This is the American Sweetheart pattern. So it's almost like a big, huge mandala here in the center. And then it's got these lovely little scallopy edges. A really pretty piece. This was made by Macbeth Evans back in the 30s. Macbeth Evans wasn't in operation for a super long time. So like I said, this is a platter, a serving platter. So it is 12 inches. 12 inches across in diameter. I like Macbeth Evans. They're probably one of my favorite Depression era makers because they were just really pretty. So, and there's no condition issues with this guy. It doesn't even really have any utensil wears. It is that really pretty, you're not going to see it, depression glass pink. So if you're interested in the big serving platter American Sweetheart by Macbeth Evans, it's going to be $12, number 73. $12, number 73. I know, I love this pattern. I love Macbeth Evans. Their Monex was just out of this world. Okay, there we go. Trying not to knock anything over. I'm still going to knock it over, I know it.
So that was it.
That was it.
Thank you. Thank you. So don't forget, I have my clearance sale tomorrow night. I'll probably extend into Wednesday morning. We'll see how much we can get through. But giveaway at the end of that tomorrow night. And then I will have my regular coffee chat and a sale, but it'll probably still be clearance stuff on Wednesday morning. That's all I've got planned this week. What about you, Nikki?
Well, I've got my whatnot sale on Thursday. I'm doing $5 starts. $5 starts beginning of the month. Some of them will be lots, some of them will be just singular pieces, but everything's starting at $5. So make sure you check that out. It'll be a lot of fun to do. And Friends Trivia. I found a Friends Trivia game and I was like, oh, I got to bring this game to Thursday nights because it was must-see TV, right? Thursday nights was must-see TV back in the day. So I was like, oh, this is perfect. I'm bringing Friends.
I have seen every single episode of Friends. Every single episode.
Oh my God, that's awesome. I'm pretty sure I have too. And then I started watching Frasier last night. I don't know why you get these weird whims, right? You just throw on like
I watched
old
Frasier
TV.
the other night. I was like,
And I was watching
forgot that show existed, and I'm watching it.
laughing my butt off at Frasier the other night. And my son's like, why was Frasier so funny? I'm like, you have no idea. All I have to say is that one episode where the first 5 minutes there was no talking and all Niles did was keep passing out because of the blood and the burns. I just rolled in my seat. I've never ever in my life laughed that hard as to that. So go watch some old TV show, guys, and have some good chuckles. That's what I'm saying.
And we hope that everyone is surviving all of the crazy weather we're having. Be careful out there if you've got ice and snow today. And be careful in Oklahoma because you're under a tornado watch, apparently. It's crazy. Yeah. Crazy.
Arma and
all right,
Greg.
Katie,
Another good
we have
one.
not picked our topic for next week yet. We're still trying to decide what point in the month we're going to be answering questions. And I remember Dharma and Greg.
Yeah, Dharma and Greg's another good one. Yeah, and there's going to be a new Frasier series too. Yeah.
But we've not picked out what the topic will be next week yet. We'll figure that out, and we'll figure out when we're going to do answering your questions and definition kind of thing. So if you have a burning glass question, make sure you email us or instant message us on Instagram or pop it comments below. I read them all. And at some point we will get you answered. We like to know ahead of time so we can do some research, but you can also ask us questions during that show that day. And if we know the answer offhand, we can answer it. Yep. So I think that's all. Thank you for hanging out with us on our 50th show. And here's to the next 50.
Yes, right. Then we can have 100 celebration like they do on TV.
Yeah. We'll do a big one. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone. Wish you could tell the difference between blank